The Last Hammer mummy movie is based on The Seven Fingers of Death by Bram Stoker, published in 1903. The dragging novel from the Dracula author is about a silenced Egyptian queen which can temporarily take possession of the female lead. And as Dracula, she can manipulate thoughts, becomes more powerful and dangerous for the protagonists, but has a different ending as a vampire forerunner.
Every time I think of you, I feel a shot right through with a bolt of blue. It's no problem of mine, but it's a problem I find. Living a life that I can't leave behind. But there's no sense in telling me the wisdom of a fool won't set you free. But that's the way that it goes, and it's what nobody knows. Well, every day my confusion grows.
In 1971, Seth Holt's Blood for the Mummy's Tomb appeared. 20 years after opening a tomb chamber where a lightly dressed, attractive, perfectly preserved female mummy was found, her evil spirit temporarily took possession of the expedition leader's daughter, collecting stolen relics and killing their owners. The movie transports the story into the present and follows more or less the book, but differs complete with the portraying of the characters. The erotic scenes are just as laughable as the wannabe gore effects.
Every time I see you falling, I get down on my knees and pray. I'm waiting for that final moment. You say the words that I can't say.
In 1980, Mike Neville's remake The Awakening tried to wake up his audience in Germany as The Awakening of the Sphinx, since the Sphinx is apparently the same as a mummy, at least in my country. The Omen Wannabe is about an archaeologist who opens the tomb of Queen Kara, which ghost kills everybody by horrible accident who stands against his plans. When she possesses his daughter, he thinks he has to absorb a dark ritual to save her. But the movie can't be saved by it. This crazy schlockfest has even less to do with the book, and the dialogues rarely make sense.
I feel fine and I feel good. I'm feeling like I never should. Whenever I get this way, I just don't know what to say. Why can't we be ourselves like we were yesterday? I'm not sure what this could mean. I don't think you're what you seem. I do admit to myself that if I hurt someone else, then I'll never see just what we're meant to be.
In 1986, Fred Olen Ray's The Tomb supposedly was also loosely based on Stoker's book. And Indiana Jones Wannabe steals and sells artifacts from an Egyptian grave. The immortal woman from which tomb he stole them wants revenge. Just like the audience, which was tricked into wasting precious lifetime with this cheap and awful crap, which not only advertises with main characters which are only for a few minutes in the movie, also the alleged mummy is actually a vampire. This fraud has 90% filler scenes, and the presentation as an adventure movie is a joke, since the only adventurous thing here is calling this unwatchable piece of shit a real movie. In 1998 came with Jeff Oprow's Bram Stoker's Legend of the Mummy, another embarrassment. I meant adaptation. During trying to awake a mummy, an archaeologist gets seriously injured. His daughter, of course herself, the reincarnation of a late ruler, continues the experiment. With this total disaster, which does not even reach TV standards, the only horror comes with its dilettante realization. Among some fans it has a certain trash cult status, and shines compared to the continuation 1 year later, in which an archaeology student brings a mummy back to life, but the audience into deep sleep. The movie without real actors and a budget as low as the involved talent is a bluff package, which was also shed on the market as Ancient Evil Scream of the Mummy, which got in 2005 with Ancient Evil 2 Guardian of the Underworld an even worse sequel, which stole the name from the name thief, a bluff package of a bluff package. This thing looks like a home video which was made on a weekend in a forest lodge and would have to be, just like its predecessor, 100 times better to even reach 0 points. In 1998, Russell Mulcahy's, see also Highlander and the Mulcahy retrospective Razorback, Tale of the Mummy mainly mummified the career of the talent involved. After everybody died during a mummy expedition, the granddaughter of the leader takes the mummy to the British Museum. Shortly after, people get murdered in the city. The totally confusing movie is well cast and has passable effects, but the story does not follow any logic and seems like made up as they went along. Nobody acts here in any form comprehensible, so this is total schlock with stars who clearly had lost a bet or just bad agents. In 1999, Stephen Sommers' The Mummy is a remake of the 1930s classic.
I feel so extraordinary. Something's got a hold on me. I get this feeling I'm in motion, a certain sense of liberty. I don't care 'cause I'm not there, and I don't care if I'm here tomorrow. Again and again I've taken too much of the things that cost you too much. I used to think that the day would never come. I'd steal the light in the shade.
The high priest Imhotep kills the pharaoh and gets mummified alive with a curse for trying to bring his secret love back to life. When 3000 years later the grave chamber is opened by archaeologists, despite of warnings, he can escape and kills all involved, except of the attractive expedition leader, in which he sees the rebirth of his beloved. The $80 million adventure comedy made over 400 million worldwide back and got rightly positive reviews. When I saw the movie back then in the theater, I thought it's really good, especially the awesome effects. It's for me not a mummy horror movie, but an interesting Indiana Jones remake. A bit too silly, but even today very entertaining.
I used to think that the day would never come, that my life would depend on this. When I was a very small boy, very small boys talk to me. Now that we've grown up together, they're afraid of what they see. That's the price that we all pay. A value destiny comes to nothing. I can't tell you where we're going. I guess there's just no way of knowing. I used to think that the day would never.
Unfortunately, this does not apply to its continuation The Mummy Returns, under the same direction in 2001. The second infusion plays 10 years later, and the main actors are now married and have a 9-year-old son, who puts, out of curiosity, a bracelet on which could mean the end of the world. This can just be prevented by another mummy adventure, for which a so-called Scorpion King plot is pulled out of the S. Of course, found in a children's sandbox. Although the movie was with almost 100 million costs and 430 million returns turn even more successful than part 1, the story is silly and unimaginative, while the effects look cheap, especially the stupid king ones. In the same year, The Mummy, the animated series, was aired with 26 episodes at 20 minutes, which plot plays parallel to the second movie. It got cancelled after 2 seasons due to low ratings, with me after 2 minutes because I don't give a fuck. In 2002, annoyed Chuck Russell's The Scorpion King. See also the Chuck Russell retrospective, The Blob. An assassin is hit by a scorpion poison arrow, but instead of dying, it somehow turns him into the Scorpion King, whatever that means. The movie, with a budget of $60 million, pulled $165 million worldwide back and was a moderate success. It is a kind of prequel to The Mummy Returns without any relation whatsoever. The so-called plot is laughably simple and all characters are just walking cliches, partially stolen directly from other movies, like the visionary from the 1970s Bond classic Live and Let Die. For me, the epitome of the multi-million-dollar trash cinema nowadays.
I feel so extraordinary. Something's got a hold on me. I get this feeling I'm in motion. A certain sense of liberty. The chances are we've gone too far. You took my time and you took my money. Now I feel you've left me standing in a world I so demanding.
In 2006 aired the Hallmark Channel TV crap The Curse of King Tut's Tomb by Russell Mulcahy. A wannabe Indiana Jones wants to find the last missing piece of an Egyptian whatsoever, but accidentally frees an evil demon. The ridiculous mummy infusion stole most of its idiotic plot shamelessly from other movies. And thanks to cheap effects, childish dialogues, complete miscasts, especially the female lead, which seems recruited directly from the street, funny as hell.
I used to think that the day would never come. I'd see the light in the shade of the morning sun. My morning sun is a drug that brings me near to the childhood I lost, replaced by fear. I used to think that the day would never come, that my life would depend on the morning sun. I used to think that the day would never come. I'd see the light in the shade of the morning sun. My morning sun is a drug that brings me near to the childhood I lost, replaced by fear. I used to think that the day would never come.
2008 Rob Cohen's The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor showed its boring face. It plays 15 years after part 2 and has a new main actress, but even older jokes and an unimaginative film style. This time the grown-up son encounters the tomb of a legendary emperor. Some conspiracies want to bring him back to life, which the mummy's fighting family tries to prevent. The deadly bought audience, on the other hand, has absolutely nothing to expect from this god-awful cash grab, in which, despite devastating reviews, 145 million costs made 400 million back. In comparison to this puke boring CGI crap, in which the actors constantly make the impression as if they would rather be somewhere else, the terrible second part seems like a masterpiece. In the same year, Russell Mulcahy's direct-to-video snorefest Scorpion King 2 Rise of a Warrior came as a prequel to the prequel. The movie, with completely new cast, is about whoever, I don't care, who wants to avenge the death of his father, goes on an adventure journey into the underworld and becomes the feared warrior. The main things to fear here are the stupid plot and the cheap effects, but is still Citizen Kane in comparison to Roel Reine's The Scorpion King 3 Battle for Redemption from 2012. This direct-to-video to trash can goes on at the end of part 1 and has again a completely new cast, with Sorcerer's archive material from the first movie. The Scorpion King loses his kingdom and annoying attachments and is now a mercenary and single, who gets from King whoever the order to bring him the Book of the Dead. My order would have been to bring a real script, and by doing so also real actors, preferably sober, and a talented director, preferably present.
I turn sideways to the sun and keep my thoughts from everyone. It's a jungle and a freak. Hear me talk, but never speak.
In 2015 is Mike Elliott's The Scorpion King 4 Quest for Power a bit better but still far from good. In this TV movie lookalike, the story of part 3 continues, this time confusingly with the same Scorpion King actor.
So I'm stepping out of time because breaking in's a crime, and it may all be too late, but I've no passion for this hate.
Probably forgotten in the sets after the last one. He's sent from the current king of the week into another country to sign a peace treaty. Since shooting in the desert is expensive and everybody constantly confuses Romania for Egypt anyway. They are just too similar.
That's the price of love. That's the price of love. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? We could buy it now. That's the price of love.
No comment from me, and I move on quickly before Scorpion King 5 The Time Jumper appears, in which the plot is moved to the present to lower the costs, if Romania gets too expensive. A bit better than Stupid King 2 to 4 is Don Michael Paul's The Scorpion King 5 The Book of Souls from 2018.
When this building is on fire, these flames can't burn any higher. I turn sideways to the sun, and in a moment I am gone.
Which again means nothing at all, just like the difference between plague and cancer. And again with a new Scorpion King actor, which apparently get Beth too hot since they seem to get smaller in every movie. This direct-to-video to garbage can turd is about an enchanted book which must be destroyed with an enchanted sword, because who cares, I don't give a fuck.
That's the price of love. That's the price of love. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? We could buy it now. That's the price of love. How long will it last? That's the price of love.
and monsters.
2017, Alex Kurtzman's Mission Impossible appeared. More about Alex Kurtzman's franchise funeral home in Logan's Run, Silence of the Lambs, Spider-Man and Fake Track. Since no one had counted which one that is and the working title Tom Cruise runs as always every 10 minutes away from explosions or bullets was no option, they agreed on calling it The Mummy, as a reboot and third attempt to start the Dark Universe, after CGI Man in 2010 and Dracula Unwatched in 2014, which also bombed. And these were at least real movies, with their own story, reasonable sound, decent editing and all this new fashion stuff. Tom Cruise plays here a relic thief who gets cursed by a mummy with unspecified CGI magic powers, pulled out of a head as needed. But in fact there are constantly explosions or somebody shoots at him and he has to run away. In between he gives women embarrassing speeches about his manhood, or explains why theft is okay, or blackmails people by destroying their water supplies in the desert, or takes a break in the woman's locker. Just the typical lovable behaves of a thanks to CGI young, dynamic and hip mid-50s. This crap, estimated $125 to $195 million, made just $410 million worldwide back and was a flop. Parts of its confusing plot is shamelessly stolen from other much better movies such as American Werewolf, but presented as awkwardly as its wannabe master thief, which stupid bubbling comes off just like the half-hearted stone scenes completely out of context, and makes as much sense as a mummy movie in which Tom Cruise looks older than the Mummy, a franchise which must now be rebooted for the third time even though it never existed, and a dark universe consisting only of a single planet.
That's the price of love. That's the price of love. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? If we could buy it now. That's the price of love. How long will it last? That's the price of love. That's the price of love. That's the price of love. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? If we could buy it now. That's the price of love. How long will it last? That's the price of love.
In 2026, another attempt, this time by production company Blumhouse, was made to maliciously deceive audiences with a supposed remake of a classic. See also Blumhouse's feminist manifestos The Invisible Man and The Wolf Man, in which, despite the word man in the title, the focus is also exclusively on some uninteresting chicks of today. Also don't, unlike the originals, take place 100 years ago, and also, aside from the stolen name, have nothing in common with them. Lee Cronin's The Mummy is about a family whose daughter Katie disappeared in the desert 8 years ago and who now returns with a gruesome appearance wrapped in bandages. Her behavior, however, is unpredictable and erratic. She harms herself and must constantly be sedated.
That's the price of love. That's the price of love. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? If we could buy it now. That's the price of love. How long will it last? That's the price of love.
Since she is possessed by an evil demon that has been kept at bay by her ritual mummification. And the more inscription bandages are removed from her, the more powerful it becomes.
That's the price of love. That's the price of love. That's the price of love.
The Exorcism of the Alleged Mummy by one-trick pony Lee Cronin, to whom we already owe the horribly woke Evil Dead Rise remake garbage from 2023, where we also had to watch some possessed chicks, and which of course had also absolutely nothing to do with Evil Dead, applies the same formula here once again. Possession in a confined space. While the original was about an old priest searching for his lost love, see also the same named retrospective. In Evil Dead Mummy, we see a little girl who eats scorpions, as usual mutilates herself and others, sometimes taking possession of them, and dislocates her limbs. Yarn. The only truly scary thing here is the far too long 2 hours 15 minutes runtime, which paper-thin, brazenly cobbled together so-called plot, a plane crash with mummy like in the Tom Cruise disaster, a tape with demonic incantations like in Evil Dead, etc., aka a run-of-the-mill story as an excuse for gore and gross-out effects, simply doesn't justify it.